do you actually think that motivation is something stable?
Absolutely not. Yeah, I had it several times that for a couple of months I was like, I don't want to do this job anymore. I have no motivation.
Really?
Yeah, I think motivation drives from several factors. You found your formula, how to make money. You make your money and everything is fine. But after like a couple of months or years, you're not motivated anymore and stuff like that. And I think it's some kind of trap that you're always operating in this operation field.
But do you think that everybody is able to excel?
I think everybody can learn it, but you have to fight your own mind. Yeah. I sold like for a year or something. You need more marketing than sales before, but you can't do good marketing when you never sold before.
To have a more than €1 million company, did that affect you also personally?
I think people are always saying that there is nothing at this $1 million mark or 2 million or 10 million. You maybe have like more money on your bank account, but most of the time it comes also with more responsibility. I think you don't have to lose your normal life. I have the feeling the more I grow and the better I get, the more simple my life gets.
Yeah,
you really have to enjoy your work. That you really enjoy doing hard work is the best you can achieve in life.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenido, bienvenida un día más a una conversación muy interesante con una persona muy joven que ha conseguido llevar su propia empresa a más de €1 millón. Él es Robert Heineke. Vamos a hacer la entrevista en inglés, pero va a estar traducida totalmente al español. Y bueno, lo presento. Hello, Robert. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for being here. I'm super excited.
Oh, that's good. I was just saying that you are pretty young still, and that you got your own company to more than €1 million. I think. Yes. So actually, what we really want to know in this conversation, what we are having today, is who is actually Robert behind all that business, because business, of course, it's very interesting to know. We are also going to talk about that, but actually we want to know who is Robert since he was like very young and why that ambition.
Yeah, where should I start? In being very, very young and how it all started?
Yeah, sure, that would be very interesting.
I think I was really in school, I was really bad. Yeah, so everyone who's bad in school, there is hope, a lot of hope. I really hated school and my grades were like the worst. Like I think moving from, elementary school to high school, I dropped completely. I even had we had a very old English teacher and she always needed someone to carry her bag to the classroom because she was so old. And she was always asking if someone help her. And I knew if I help her, I maybe get like a 4-. So I did it, and it really was my card to get a 4- in English.
Oh, really?
Because I was so bad. Yeah, and
we have to say very shortly that a 4- in Germany is actually you pass.
You pass with
that grade. Okay.
And so school, I don't even know what I did for from 5th to 6th grade. Then 10th grade or something, I started playing video games and I really got addicted completely. I think with 16 or something, I had my first computer and I started playing and I had to repeat the 10th grade because I played so much Battlefield at this time. And I really, the time before I was always playing. I even had Pokemon cards and magic cards and all that stuff. And my mom was really worried because I was so addicted to games. So it was always one game and everything else was completely
not there.
I always remember, I think my aunt asked my mom what I want to have for Christmas. And she said just get him anything, but no Pokemon cards anymore. And I was like, no, I want some more Pokemon cards. So, and this is something that is really funny because I always love playing games in every way. I don't know, even today, if you ask me to go play tennis or something, I would be up for it. And I think it's the same thing with business. You really have to find some way of your game and start liking playing the game. And I think, I don't know if I got it like from my, I don't know, parents or from my grandparents, but I always loved like playing these games. And I think when I entered like my studies and studying business administration and get into like the corporate world and stuff like that, I lost it a little bit, and everyone was like so serious and making business and pooh. And then I was like, fuck that. I quit my job after my studies and started like to start playing somehow again, to experiment a lot, try different things, try e-commerce, try consulting, try YouTube channels, and really try to figure out what I'm good at, because this is something that I don't know, someone said that you have to throw 100 balls in the air and after some years you will catch some, like 1 or 2. And I really like this quote because, if you like, I don't know, if you do a job or you study something, there is no chance that you figure out what you're really good. I think you have to try a lot of stuff. And that worked, I think, in the last like 5 to 8 years, really good, that I was just like try new things and see what works and what not. And always with this playful attitude, I think that makes a lot of stuff easier.
Yeah, that's something also because I know Robert now for a longer time, and what I see the most is attitude in yourself. Even though you see like, oh no, maybe now the business is really not going that well, but still you keep it up with that attitude. So I would say that attitude, it's a very important part of not just life, personal life, but even more in business to keep it up. Because I also think that in COVID, for example, there was so many problems for so many businesses. So how did you manage, for example, that time when it was really, really hard to get forward?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. Yeah, like the last 2 years were very like serious in some way. And the other way around, as you said, I think people buy in some cases like energy and how self-esteem or how your self-esteem is. And I think I heard a quote that as an entrepreneur, you're always in the game to stack your self-esteem. So you're always trying to get more self-esteem. And I think this is something you really have to be good at becoming, because especially in those crises, you really have to be very like, I'm here and I'm not going down like with self-doubts and what am I doing if I can't pay my employees and stuff like that. I don't know how I managed, because I was like, I don't know. I wanted at least, I think this changed at some time, like, I don't want to make myself like, say that I have some kind of regrets because I didn't work as much as I could. So I was like, I tried to work as much as possible. And at the end, if it doesn't work out, I couldn't say like, I didn't even try hard enough. And this mantra, I think, worked very well and it's still working very well, that I say I put all my energy in there. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it's not my fault at the end. But you have to bring a lot of energy and motivation to the table if you want to do this kind of job.
But do you actually think that motivation is something stable?
Absolutely not. It's a funny, I built myself like a framework or a structure because I think motivation drives from several factors, especially when you're like a business owner. I think most of the people get into a trap, and myself got into this trap, that you start just operating stuff that you already know. So I don't know, you found your formula, how to make money. I don't know, you're a video editor and you get your jobs and you keep going, you make your money and everything is fine. But after like a couple of months or years, you feel like, ooh, it's not that exciting anymore. You're not motivated anymore and stuff like that. And I think it's some kind of trap that you're always operating in this operation field. And so I was like, I had it several times that for a couple of months, I was like, pooh, I don't want to do this job anymore. I have no motivation. Really? And then I was like, what can I do? And then these two different fields, like, I found them. You gotta learn new things, I think, on a constant basis. So I started reading books again, buying some coachings, getting some online courses just to get like new input. And I was always like just trying to keep up like my learning curve, getting all that stuff into my brain and just saying like, I don't know, I like this concept, or I like this idea for, I don't know, an online challenge. And then there was like the second thing was like experiment and try new things. And I have the feeling if you got this right, you are constantly learning, you're experimenting, and you're operating in your business, you're fine. And I tested this a little bit, this framework, with a couple of my friends. They're also a little bit like, And I was like, when did you, I don't know, read the last book? Or when did you buy the last coaching or stuff like that? And they were like, it's been a long time. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. Maybe. And it doesn't have to be something like expensive or something. Really get a book, or especially on YouTube, there is so much cool videos nowadays. Sometimes I just like binge watch some channels, and after that I'm like, I have so many ideas. And really, I think in the last 3 or 4 months, I really have this like flywheel of more and more motivation that, I don't know, every second I think about new ideas, and I have this WhatsApp chat with myself. I don't know, every day I have like 10 or 15 ideas what I want to do, everything. Yeah. And it comes down to keep learning every day. Yeah. And this helped a lot. Yeah.
And what about also, because now we're talking about a bit yourself and how you manage to get that new ideas. What about, because you also mentioned the part of self-esteem. What does actually self-esteem mean for you? Because I think that many people have different perspective about it. So what does it mean actually for you?
Yeah, it's a difficult concept, I think. Yeah. For me, it's getting a lot of small wins, I think. So that you really like, get like small wins in your daily lives. I don't know, a client has a success and the next client has a success and the third client has a success, and you're like, damn, I'm the man. Or I don't know, your company is growing again in a month, and you're really like stacking these little wins and you're getting more and more stronger. And I don't know what happened in the last 1 or 2 months. I really talked to a lot of guys, and I don't know, maybe I got some compliments from outside, and I was really like, damn, I think after like 5 to 8 years, I really know my stuff. And it really gave me so much energy and so much self-esteem. Yeah. And I really feel like at the moment, like I'm burning in some way, in a positive way. Yeah, but I think it comes really down to knowing your craft, getting better, and also talk to other people. This is something that I really, I don't know, that I made the mistake always stick to my stuff. Yes. But if you go to like other entrepreneurs and just talk to them, you learn a lot of stuff from them, but also see at their position like, okay, I would do it like this, and he doesn't see that. Okay, and you really see like what you are really good at. And if you're always in your room, you're like, well, I don't know if I'm good or not. Yeah. But if you compare it to other people, you see like, oh, I'm not that bad after all. Yeah. Because there's one example, there was a really like huge conference in online marketing in Germany, and all the keynotes are on YouTube. I wasn't there, but I watched all the keynotes that were really popular to see like what people are talking about, took a lot of notes, but I was also like, these keynotes aren't that like, they are also just people, they have like exciting experiences, but it wasn't like, whoa, that was completely far away from what we were doing. And I was like, we are pretty good. And one of my employees was also there, and he was like, Robert, I think we are really good at this stuff we are doing. Good. And I'm like, we should tell the world that we're really good. But just by comparing yourself to the others, you get a feeling like, you already know some stuff.
So does that also push you like even more?
It pushes you a lot, because you need, especially in business, you need a lot of confidence when it comes to like the sales part or selling your offer and stuff like that. You need a lot of confidence. I think this is the most important part. If you start selling your services or a product or something, you have to be convinced like 110%. And if you don't have it, I have one of my friends, he said, I lost in some way my confidence into my own offer and product. Really? And I was like, then it's done. So and he was also, it's like I have to find something new. And it really correlates with like your service, that you have to be very confident with it. Otherwise, you can't sell it. So it's a lot about like,
Would you give, or do you have an idea which are the skills, or which are the most important skills to know how to sell any product or service?
I think selling itself is the most. I was thinking about this question, how I would start. So there are like two parts. At the first one, I don't know if you really can learn it, like how to craft a good service so that you really learn how to help people and what to offer in the marketplace. I think that it's not so easy to, who's your target group, what problem are you solving, and what kind of service you offer. But I think most people really they have the most problems with selling stuff because it's always like, whoa, can I ask for money?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know him and the price and stuff like that. And I don't know, I saw a lot of people like that we could have helped or that we helped becoming good in some way in sales. But most of the people, they really struggle with their own mindset. And that's really sad to see because you have to learn that because everything beyond that, like doing cool marketing stuff and webinars and ads and funnels and websites and stuff like that, it's all after learning how to sell something. And this is something that I also tell always clients, like if you can't sell your offer in front of your customer at lunch, you don't need any online marketing or stuff like that. And this is something like a common mistake that people think, oh, I need this huge YouTube channel. I need, I don't know, ads and stuff like that. But it comes down to you have to be able to sell your service at lunch.
But do you think that everybody is able to sell?
And there is a good example. There is like a big company that I also worked for. They sell like screws, like fasteners, stuff that you put like into furniture, like everywhere. Yeah. And they have like 30,000 salespeople. And I saw like all around the world. And I saw an interview with like the founder, and he said, we had always like stars in sales, people that come in and they were like instantly really good because they are talented and stuff like that. Yeah. But he was like, we don't need these guys. They have like an attitude, they're good, then they leave. But what we came up with was a concept to show and to train people that are not good at selling how to sell. Oh. And so he managed to educate people that have no experience in sales how to sell and made it very, very popular. And this is something I think if you have like the right tools, if you also have the right guidance and you have someone who can give you feedback, I think everybody can learn it. But you have to fight your own mind. Yeah, I think that's the part that you really have to, I don't know, it's like doing a parachute jump. You don't want to do it, but at some point you have to say like, it's 2,000 euros. And then, you have to manage that. And otherwise, I think everyone can learn it. But there are people that like it way more than others. Me, for myself, I think I sold like for a year or something. And then I was like, I know how it works, but I want to learn how to do marketing because marketing is like in front of sales. Yes. The marketing is like
the face.
Yeah, like the face, like explaining people what you're doing, and sales is after that. Yeah. And like in a lot of industries, it's changing a lot right now from you need more marketing than sales before, but you can't do good marketing when you never sold before. Wow. And a lot of people are trying that. They are doing all this, all that thing. But if you never sold something before, not a chance. I saw so many people that put on a great show in their online marketing, but it didn't like convert because they didn't sell like one-to-one.
So you would say for sure basics, or the first thing you should learn with any service or product is just learning how to sell, and then afterwards just invest everything in marketing if you need that. No?
Yeah, I had a friend, he went to he didn't really know what to do, and he went to a sales department in some company, and he did even like cold calling, what's like I think one of the toughest jobs you can do. And after 2 years, he was so good, and he was like, well, let's see what I can do now. And I thought to myself, it was a really like smart decision, and I wish I I had like, I don't know, in my studies learned more about sales because I studied 5.5 years like business and administration, and there was not one lecture about sales. And it's crazy to myself because it's like the most important department for all operations. And the guy with the 30,000 salespeople, he said 95% of success is sales and 5% is the rest.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's maybe a little bit exaggerated, but they pull the money into your company. And if you can't do that, everything else is like, you don't need it. Yeah.
And how do you actually manage in your company? Because you have your own company, as we said at the beginning. I don't know how many workers you have.
Like 10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad also. But you also don't want to grow it further or something. You want to still keep it small, a small company for yourself, or?
I think it's something like your business case in some kind has to match like how many people you have there. I'm really happy with the size. I have some friends that are like, Robert, if you have like 10 people, you can do like 2 or 3 million a year in revenue, and everything is great. Everybody knows the other guys. And after that, beyond like 20 or 30 employees, you start to have a lot of management. You don't know everyone. And it's a trap, they said. They really, Robert, stay there, stay there. So I'm really thinking about, there is a cool book. I think it's called Rework, and it's like a software company, Basecamp or something. They developed a software, and they were like 15 people, and they really enjoyed like working with these 15 people. So they said, we don't want to grow like in terms of employees, but we want to grow in terms of scale, like selling more products. And this is something that I really have in my mind, because we do like a lot of online programs and stuff like that. Just do more programs where I don't need a lot of more people, but can stay on this size, but also can grow in terms of revenue and stuff like this. And this is something that I really like try to figure out right now, how we can grow without growing the people as much as the revenue.
Okay. And what about, because you, after your studies, you work for a company and so on, and then you decided by yourself to make your own company, right? So, but did you start like from zero? Was it like completely zero?
Yeah, I studied 5.5 years business administration, but I was working the whole time. So it was like, how would you call it? Dual studies. Dual studies.
Yeah.
And in my consulting job and in my master studies, I stumbled across a YouTube channel in America who was like animating books. They were like transcribing them and summarizing them and animated that. And I was lying in bed after like partying a night and partying, and I was like, what? That is so cool, because I was always a visual guy. So I was always learning with like pictures. And then these cool books in 10 minutes, and you have like this visual concept. I was like, I want to bring that to Germany. And I was really like going the next day to the bookstore, got like 3 books and started summarizing them, looked up like the software, how you can do it, clicked like 3 times, and I was like, not a chance. Nah, I can't do it.
Too difficult.
Yeah, really. And there is like a platform like Wallapop, I think, in Spain. Yeah, and I put it there. I'm looking for a guy who's doing like whiteboard animation. There wasn't even a word for that I was looking for.
Yeah.
And a guy, he called me. I was like, I was looking for a whiteboard for my office, but that what you are doing, that sounds like quite interesting. What are you up to? And I'm like, wow, that's like coincidence.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow, that sounds cool, let's do it. And he was like, I don't know, like 500 euros a video or something. And I was like, yeah, let's test it. We did 3 videos. Nothing really happened like on YouTube or something. I was really proud because the videos really looked cool. And then we met because I ran almost out of money. I was like, I can't pay you like 500 euros. And he was like, yeah, totally fine. Let's do just a split. If we do any money with the channel, we split it. And if we don't any money, no worries, because I like this idea. And I think it took us like 5 to 10 videos or something to get like to the first 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, really, it took off very fast.
What?
And and after like trying again doing YouTube right now, I'm like, we were really lucky because like I think the style and the idea was it was proven from America because these channels were already blowing up, and then taking it to Germany was like easy. And this was while I was in consulting, like, I don't know, working crazy 60 to 80 hours a week, doing every 2 weeks, I think, video. I was like reading every minute I was awake, like summarizing these books, going to my closet and talking to the microphone, and he was like animating it. And then we were pretty fast, like at 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 subscribers. And I was coming closer to the end of my studies. And I was like, pah, I'm almost a millionaire. If I got 50,000 subscribers, I'm a millionaire. And then I was really like, if you can, you gotta quit. You gotta quit. And the money is just coming. And I really quit. Like, the other argument that I really found was like, I think trying to be self-employed or starting a business is like riding a bicycle. It will take like 2 or 3 years until you learn it. So it was like the younger I am, the better I am. Yeah. And I didn't have like any children or something. I didn't have like Rio and everything was really okay. And so I took the moment of the end of my studies to quit my job, start studying, and yeah, I wasn't a millionaire. Yeah.
Okay.
No, really, we tried so much stuff doing with the YouTube channel but it was so broad. We were talking to like, I don't know, whole Germany at this point. There were so many people. I even was like in a high school as a YouTuber at this point. No. And there was really the children like in, I don't know, 12th grade. Yeah, I know you. You are this guy with these coins and money and stuff. I just watch car videos, but I love your videos, Robert. And I was like, try to sell these guys something. And we tried launching some courses, but it didn't feel right. So I was like, it's not gonna work, and told my partner at this point, hey, I'm out. I gotta focus on myself. I gotta learn how to make any money because I wasn't making money at this time. But I learned a friend, and he was like, I don't know, he always helped like people to get on track, learn how to be self-employed, and we started like e-commerce. And at this point it was like Amazon, and we started like selling salt and pepper grinders and stuff like that. And I did, I think, for 1 year e-commerce because I was like consulting. I don't like consulting because I did it 2.5 years, but always for someone else. But after 1 year of e-commerce, I was like, that's really exhausting because you do a lot of revenue. Yeah. You don't do a lot of profit. You always have to call with Amazon. You always have trouble with stuff that is not coming from China to Europe. And I was like, I will ask myself, do I want to do that in 5 years? And I was like, nope. And then I really started to do some freelance job in digital marketing. And this was the point where I was like, maybe it's the direction of doing something with marketing, because we had the proof from YouTube. In the meantime, I started like a podcast that was doing very well. I had Instagram that I was doing very well. And I was like, I just need a product. I just need something to sell, because all the companies didn't know how to do that.
How many years ago was that?
7.
7 years ago?
7, yeah.
Okay.
I think like 2 years of being self-employed, I did this stuff. And then I did some workshops. And at some point I came up with the idea like doing a online marketing education program for people. And because I was like, if you have like a business, I can show you how to leverage like YouTube and Instagram and podcast, all these social media platforms. Yes. But I don't have like the offer. So I was like, my offer is how to show you how to do it. Okay, great. And it worked very well. I just did one podcast episode. I was like, I have this idea, and I don't know, 50 emails or something. And people were like, where can I sign up? And I was like, maybe there is something. Yeah. And this was really like the start into like doing digital marketing consulting, always with a hybrid of doing like courses where people can watch the stuff that we are teaching, while also doing like group calls and one-to-one sessions and stuff like that. And since then, we've come a long way. We did like Instagram and Facebook, and today we are specialized on LinkedIn, and I'm very happy with that, because the whole like corporate world and companies and like very professional people are all on LinkedIn. And it's a great way to teach people marketing, because otherwise it's always like, what is marketing? But on LinkedIn you can do a lot of cool stuff and people are like, that is marketing. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it because marketing is a lot of fun, but I have the feeling, especially in Germany, there is not a lot of people that are really using it. So there is a lot of market to teach people how to do it.
Okay.
Lots of fun.
Okay, so actually if you are so happy about everything working out with social media, but specifically with LinkedIn now with your business, because you are most focused on LinkedIn, do you want to keep LinkedIn like for the long term actually? Is it like your business idea for the long term?
I think it's always a question people ask, like, oh, Robert, what happened if LinkedIn like goes offline or something? I think if you do like marketing consulting, you always have to go with the trends. And this is something I hope not everybody just realized at the moment, that, I don't know, you could do email marketing nowadays, but there is not really like a trend for it. So if you try to push something into the market, it's very difficult because try to convince someone to do email marketing and they heard it like 10 years ago, they tried it and it failed. So as doing great marketing, you always try to take topics that are on the mind of the people right now, and you just educate them on them. And when someone comes into our world and says, hey, Robert, we want to do LinkedIn, we do LinkedIn, but after they did LinkedIn, we are also doing like email marketing, webinars, Facebook ads and stuff like that. So I'm using this just like to hook the people into my world, and then I try to teach them everything. And I have the realization, not everybody like understood this concept, and I just tested it. So I did like 12 YouTube videos on webinars, on funnels, on websites, on LinkedIn, on email marketing. And after these 12 videos, all the videos with LinkedIn got like 10 times the views. And I was like, maybe we talk more about LinkedIn and maybe we just get the people with this hook, and it worked very well. So this is something, if you leave the stage of sales, you're into this, how to market your stuff. And I think this is like the easiest part, to take topics that are relevant for your clients that they have on their mind and then get them into your world. Okay,
that sounds great also. And now if we go a little bit to the part of more personal stuff, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people want to know how it feels like to have a more than €1 million company. Did that affect you also personally? Did that influence your personal, like your lifestyle, your friendships, your relationships, or did that?
That's a good question. I think anyone that is watching, there is nothing, and I think people are always saying that there is nothing at this $1 million mark or 2 million or 10 million. There is nothing fancy there. You maybe have like more money on your bank account, but most of the time it comes also with more responsibilities. So it sounds like I'm not lying on the beach looking in my laptop and counting money. No. And people are sometimes like, I don't know, if you see like ads, it's not real. So what helped me a lot is like, you really find joy in your daily work. You really have to enjoy your work. And I think a guy from the state, he said it really nice, like, hard work is the goal. That you really enjoy doing hard work is the best you can achieve in life. And sure, it's nice to have a lot of money on your bank account, but there are a lot of people who have a lot of money on the bank account but don't know what to do with their life and are miserable. And I think this is what I, at this point, enjoy the most, that I really found a way with ups and downs to really enjoy my work and to enjoy my craft. And I really like the concept of the genius zone, that you really try to find your genius zone, because I fell off a lot of times. So
could you say a little bit an example or something about the genius zone?
So last year I did a lot of operating. So I had my formula, I did know when to write a newsletter, to do a webinar and stuff like that. And I did a lot of management. So I put people into places, you do this, you do this, you do this. And I was really just like sitting there watching other guys doing their job, but I was like, I would do it like this and I would do it like this. And I was really miserable because I was like, I want to do something. But at the same time, I was like, this employee also has to learn and to grow and do it. And I can't do anything. I was really like, let's do something.
Do it.
And I was really, really miserable for a long time since a friend of mine said, yeah, Robert, you fell off your genius zone. You have to create stuff. And I'm like, maybe I got to create some stuff. And this triggered like a whole like flywheel because I started again creating a lot of YouTube videos, creating new products, creating new webinars, creating so much stuff. And I was so happy again. And I was like, maybe that's my genius zone. And this is something that you really like, I think, have to reflect yourself I just discussed it with a friend that I have again for a couple of years now, like these flow situations where I lose like track of time and stuff like that. And I had it for a long time. I didn't have it. When I was like summarizing these books, I had it. I sat 4 hours and summarized these books, but I didn't have it like for a couple of years. And in the last months I had it again and I was like, this is really something. So everybody's watching. If you have like moments where you lose like time and track of everything, there is something. Yeah, you really should look for that. And it's not easy. It's really rare. I think in 8 years I had it a couple of times, but always when I did it, I was like, I should do more of this stuff. And personally, you don't have to have it too complicated. I think I lost a lot of friends because there is always a lot of ego into this game. Yeah, I think it's something that is, it's a little bit sad. But also you keep a lot of friends that came along your way that you know from before. And you also learn a lot of new interesting people along the way. This is something that I really enjoy because if you keep growing, you learn. It gets a little bit smaller of people that reach these levels. But when you meet people of this level, it's really almost a lot of fun. But also, I wouldn't like overrate it. I think a lot of people are always like, so I don't know, I'm this business owner now and I can't talk to like regular people or something. And I'm like, you have so much more in common with every person in the room than not having something in common. And I don't know, I just met a guy, he's one of my neighbors and he's doing like enduro tours or something and he's doing this for his business. And I'm like, he's the greatest guy, he's the happiest guy. And I'm always like, let's do another tour. And I think you really have to find people outside your business world to stay happy and stuff like that. But and the other, like the downside, because maybe everything that I say sounds so wow, it's so wow. No, there are a lot of nights that I can't sleep and there are a lot of months where you look at your, I don't know, bank account and you see like, that's going to be like 20 or 30,000 euros minus this month because of salaries, because you didn't make enough revenue. And sometimes it feels like, I don't know, a stone that is following you and you try to run away and it keeps getting closer and then it goes a little bit away. And it's really like, like having existential fears is not something that is really nice. Because if you have like a job, I think you have it maybe, I didn't have it. It was always like, I got my salary, I burned some money, spent too much money on, I don't know, food and clothes and stuff like that. But I knew next month I would get new money. And this is something that you don't have like, there will be months, there will be no money.
And did you have any point that you want to just quit? Have you ever had that feeling of quitting?
Yeah, it's like, you can't do it. It's not really an option. I saw like there is a good, anyone who wants to see a cool show, it's like from Gordon Ramsay, and he's going into restaurants that are most of the time like 200 or 300,000 euros in debt. And this is in most cases like it's the situation where you can't do anything. So if you quit, you're like 300,000 debt and you can like, I don't know how you would call it, like you're bankrupt and you can be for 7 years, I think in Germany, you are then claimed bankrupt and you are free of your debts, but you can just earn like 2,000 euros a month or something. So you have to fight or you have to go through 7 years of not being a student again, but you can work as much, you can earn as much as you want. You're just getting, I think, not at all 2,000 euros a month, maybe like 1,800 or something. Yeah. So it's really like, you gotta fight. Yeah. And these restaurant owners, I'm always like, because they're so deep into this. Yeah. So I think this is something that I also took from the last months and also from COVID and the crisis. You gotta fight. Yeah, you really have to become like a Rio. You have to become a lion. Yes. Yeah, and you gotta fight and get better. And I think this is also the reason why a lot of people say that in these crises, a lot of healthy companies emerge, because it's some kind of survival of the fittest. It's really like, either way you give up and, I don't know, get a job or something, or you keep going and find a way. And I don't know, with this, I think, playful attitude, I always found a way. And this is something that I always have in my head, like, okay, Robert, you always managed to do it. Sometimes I don't know how I did it, but this is something that helped me a lot. Because going back to a job, it's not even an option.
For you, it is not even an option.
It's not even an option. No, yeah, because you can't. Well, if someone would tell me like, Robert, you should do this, and I would say, fuck you, I don't do anything.
Yeah, okay, I understand where you're going. And what about, because you also mentioned the part from losing friends, and there are a lot of people that are actually very afraid of, even though we think success is so nice and we think it's all colorful and so much money and we can do so many things with money. But I also do think that subconsciously a lot of people are very afraid of success because of feeling suddenly alone, because losing friends, because I don't know, losing the money actually. I mean, you have more responsibilities.
Oh yeah, suddenly, that's a trap. So I think the really famous people that are like Hollywood famous, if you got rich, then you're fearful of losing all that money again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh God. Yeah.
So would you say something to that kind of people that are actually pretty afraid of just like losing friends or losing their normal life, let's say, quote unquote, normal life?
I think you don't have to lose your normal life. I have the feeling the more I grow and the better I get, the more simple my life gets.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I don't know. I'm not going to the fanciest restaurants. I'm not driving a fancy sport car. I'm not wearing a Rolex or stuff like that. I have the feeling I'm really going in the other direction because I thrive my motivation from my work. With the people along the way, it's really like, if you're getting good and if you start making money, you will recognize more and more people try to get on your train. They're really like, oh, Robert is heading in the right direction. I want some pieces of that cake.
Let be my best friend.
Yeah, really. And like these little situations, like, I don't know, I gave some seminars like a couple of years ago and I was like making 50-50 with a guy. He was like teaching, I was selling. And after doing like the third seminar, like getting all the revenue, and he was just sitting down a day and teaching some stuff, I was like, that doesn't feel right. It's so much work to get people into the seminar and he's having a great day with these guys. I was like, that's not working out. And I think this is something you have to be aware a little bit, that people are trying to get on your train because it's fucking difficult to make money in these days. But also, I wouldn't be like too afraid of losing people. Because sometimes, I don't know, if you have like school friends, you meet them in the streets and you're like, pooh, I'm so far away because I don't know, did some stuff and I couldn't even like talk to them for an hour because we don't have any topics in common. No. So I think this is something I wouldn't be afraid, but enjoy it a little bit, because if you look for people that are on the same journey, you learn so much interesting and cool people along the way, and that's really cool. Don't be too afraid. And don't get crazy with your lifestyle.
Just keep humble, right? Just try to keep humble.
I never got that concept because you keep hearing these things from people, but I think Instagram and stuff like that and all these people that are doing crazy ads, they are pushing a concept of I don't know, these Instagram of lifestyle, traveling the world, making millions, and I don't know, drinking pina colada. Yeah, it couldn't be like further away from the truth. Most of the cases, I think 90% or 95% of business owners, they really like what they're doing. And if they do it right, they will get some money at the end of the year. But most of the time, they don't have any time to spend it. I think Damian asked you like, how does the life of Farina and Robert look like? They wake up and work. Then they lunch, work, and then they eat, and then they work. and nothing else? No, nothing else. Every day. And I think, yeah. And so you really have to enjoy the work that you're doing.
Yeah, actually, with this, we can actually go a little bit to the concept of, because I think a lot of people think there is a formula to get success or to get like millions or something. Yeah. So do this 10 habits so you get the success you want in your life.
Waking up early, very important.
Yeah, for example, waking up early, train like for 1 hour, 6 in the morning, eat healthy, go for a walk after 1 hour of work and then work again. So we really think even more younger people, because we have that so many YouTube videos and Instagram and just like social media, that we really think sometimes that, whoa, I really have to do this? Like 10 habits?
There are just 24 hours in the...
Yeah, so what do you think actually about that? Because if, for example, if someone would ask you, hey, which habits would you recommend me to do like in my day-to-day so I become successful with my life, professionally, let's say?
Just one. No, I think really it's a little bit unfair, but because I think people that have figured out their business model, they're like optimizing for productivity.
Yeah.
And they're saying, now I can optimize my daily life with all these routines. But for someone who starts and who haven't found his business model, these tips doesn't make sense at all. So it doesn't make sense to wake up early, to go to the gym. I don't do anything of this stuff. Yeah, I'm really happy to go for a run sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that really changed it for me was like reading books. That was really something I would recommend everyone to make a habit out of it. But the rest...
But actually, again, also with books, what I also see for myself, or I see in my surroundings and everything, that people that do read books, we do actually think about that reading books and the points the books is saying we should do them so we get successful.
Yeah.
Or we get that $1 million or $2 million business. What do you think actually about that?
I think it comes down to give yourself a little bit time. I would really say like the first 2 or 3 years are just about finding your business model or finding your offer. What do you really want to service and what do you really want to do? And this is the most crucial part. As long as you don't really know what you're offering or what you're doing, you can do as much routines and habits as long as you want. I think this is the core offer. And if you find this, I think this is the crucial part, because after like I found out that I will do marketing and doing this consulting stuff, I was really like, okay, I'm invested in this right now. I think this is the best business model for me. And now I try to optimize it, do like the service better, get some people on board, get my life into track. But until then, I think you should all focus on that. And how you focus on that, just try to experiment as long as possible, different stuff. I don't know, I think if you got a job or if you do studies, it's very hard to do something after work or studies. But I think at least, I don't know, watch some YouTube videos and stuff like that. The same with me starting this YouTube channel. It was like so many coincidences that I started it, but it felt like the right project. I couldn't have like see it before, but really like, if you keep learning, maybe at some point you have an idea or a friend asks you, can you help me with that? And then you say, it feels right, let's do it. Yeah.
Do you think there needs to be always a goal when you're doing something?
Absolutely not.
Good to know. Because, I
think I never had a goal. Yeah.
Good. That's great to know, because I think we get so stressed by the idea of having goals, great goals, or the purpose. You need to find your purpose,
the
find your
purpose
passion.
lie.
Yeah. So, for example, I can give you a very personal example right now. Also, with doing these kind of videos, I really enjoy doing them.
Yeah.
But when I do them, I'm like, but I don't have like a goal with this. I'm just having fun with it. So sometimes I do hesitate about like, where am I going? Is it like too important to have that?
No, not at all. I think all the good, I don't know, YouTube channels or videos or interviews, they always started with someone who just enjoyed doing these interviews. And this is something that I also did for myself. I'm doing also interviews with people that I find interesting. And I just do it for myself to learn stuff. I don't know where it goes. And then maybe in 3 years, the channel blows up and people are like, Robert, how did you do it? Yeah, I just did interviews that I enjoy. So you can't see it, but you really have to be careful because people from outside are always like, I remember with this YouTube channel, all my family was like, yeah, what's your goal? Where are you going? Why are you investing so much time? And after we had like the first 10,000 subscribers, they're like, oh, you're a genius. Yeah, you're so smart. Yeah. And I think Mr. Beast from YouTube said it very good. People think you're crazy until you're successful, then you're a genius. Yeah. And I think in this quote is so much truth. So I really would like, in your case, dedicate yourself 1 interview a week and keep it coming. Yeah. And as long as you have the time and the resources, you don't have any downside to it.
Just enjoy it. I think it's so important to enjoy it, actually.
Yeah.
And I would say that because there are going to be so many days, and even people, what are you saying? Like family saying, like, why are you doing this now? Or even my friends are like, what are you doing? Like, it's a bit crazy. But I just enjoy it. So I see that also in your attitude, also like in general with business, with personal life and everything. So that's pretty nice. Good to know.
And I think and this is something people that really can't grasp around their head, that work can be fun. So imagine really this interview thing works very well, and at the end you make your money with it and live with it, and you interview people, you enjoy it, and you make money with it. And because most people, so keep watching, guys. So I think this is something that we never learned in some way. I don't know. You do a job and it's like just sucks a bit, but you get your money for it. But you never can imagine that you do something that is really fun, that you enjoy and earn money. But there are like projects and jobs that make that possible. And I think with this interview thing, do it.
Who knows?
No purpose. No goal. Just do great work.
Yeah, exactly. And what about like after how many years did your YouTube channel grow?
The first one?
Yeah. No. The one you have now.
Now?
Yeah.
I never had a look at it. I think, I don't know.
But how,
I think I have like 3 or 4 years, but I never did it like really like serious. Then I posted for a couple of months, then nothing at all, then like twice a week or something. And now I take it serious again because I really enjoy doing like content. I think I'm getting a little bit better. And there is always this argument that you really have to do quantity to just get data and get better. And that's the reason why I'm always trying to push like for 2 videos a week. But for example, I did like 2 weeks ago, I put all my ideas and everything into this 2 videos. I got really stressed for the next week because I got nothing. So I uploaded nothing. And I was like, fuck, this is really difficult.
Yeah, it is.
And this week I'm like, maybe I have 1 idea, 1 video, I got it. The second one, I'm like, And I think there is not really a formula to success. I think you really have to come up with good ideas and you have to understand a little bit, I think, how YouTube works. But I don't know, I'm at like 5,000 subscribers. But what is cool, I think, that YouTube changed and most of the platforms really changed is that the subscribers doesn't count anymore. Not at all, I think. It's just how good your video is. And that gives like smaller YouTube channels the chance to really blow up with one video. And this is something that makes it for smaller YouTube channels easier to get more traction. But the bigger ones, I'm like, I see big YouTube channels, they don't get any views anymore. And like, fuck, even if I blow up, I don't have any advantage.
No,
so
wow.
yeah, it's really tricky nowadays. But if you enjoy doing videos, yeah, do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No goal, guys. No
No,
goal.
no, really, no goals. Yeah, enjoy the project. See it as a project. I don't know. And I think I would always start with a project like this.
Yeah.
With no like expectation that you make any money.
No.
Maybe it's just a starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a podcast or do a YouTube channel and see what happens. And maybe after some time you're like, it's a great project. I will keep it up, or I will start something else.
Something else.
Yeah.
New ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it coming.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'm going to ask you a few more questions, and then we are done also with the conversation, which is pretty interesting. But first, do you want to maybe, I mean, your webpage is in German, what you have in YouTube is in German and everything, but maybe you want to just like say how your business is called. Maybe.
Yeah, for the Spanish audience out there. Yeah. Maybe YouTube. Yeah, I'm planning to do some English interviews.
Nice.
Maybe.
Nice.
Yeah. Robert Heineke, YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
Check it out. Amigos y amigas. Yeah.
And in LinkedIn, he has really actually also everything in German, but still all the posts he's writing and all the photos he's posting and everything are also pretty nice. You can also have a look at them. Yeah, why not? Okay, great.
Vamos, Rio.
He wants to play now.
Yeah, he's excited.
Papa, spiel mir. All right. What would you say to a young person that finished their studies or whatever? They're working, they have a job, but after, let's say, like they are working now there for 2 years, whatever job it is, but they feel a little bit stuck. However, they don't have that ambitious to have their own business, okay? So what would you say?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But what would you say to this person so that he or she enjoys the job he's in it right now? Because, I mean, that's the option right now.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I think I was always trying to, with every job, I was always trying to enjoy it in some way. There were really like ups and downs. And I think even if you have a job and it's like not the best, I think I would try after a time to really like reflect what parts of the job that you like and maybe the parts that you don't like, and try to get better at like seeing what are your strengths and what you can do really good. And take some risks, maybe like, I don't know, like after 1 or 2 years, you realize that it's not the job that you want to do in 5 years, and really look for other opportunities, talk to other people. I would always talk to people that are doing maybe the new job that you want to do and ask them what they are doing. And I think really like, think about doing, you want to work more with people, you want to work more with things, are you interested like in e-commerce? And I think really to follow your interests, the topics that you like, I don't know, just look into your YouTube feed or something and see what are you like looking at naturally. This is something that I would like analyze and see, maybe there is something I can do a job with, maybe there is even a job for it.
Yeah. I actually heard once, I have 2 stories that I heard. For example, if your job right now is a waitress, let's say like that, this is the option you have maybe like right now because you want to earn some money and maybe in the future study something or whatever, that even there you can find something you make. For example, you love to do coffee. Just try to make the best coffee so that your client is just happy with the coffee, for example.
I loved service. I did like 2 years of being a waiter. I loved it. I had so much fun.
It's just about getting good at what you have right now and then trying to get better.
It's good preparation for sales.
Okay, good.
It's perfect.
Okay, that's a good to know. Good to know. Good strategy. Another question I have for you. Have you ever been afraid of something?
I think if you talk to someone who is having his own business, like once a month there is a day where like, everything falls apart and tomorrow is everything gone. So there is a lot of fear, I think, into it. Also, Yeah, I don't know. It can be as simple as doing an email promotion to 7,000 people and you're a little bit more straight with your pitch and you're like, and then you send it and you're like, the world is still there. Okay, maybe I can do it next time even a little bit more.
Yeah.
So fear is like, I think it's every day there. And otherwise I think you wouldn't, it sounds like cliche, but you wouldn't grow. So even I think, I don't know, I don't want to think about like Jeff Bezos or something. I think if you do like ways as an entrepreneur, I think you are followed by your fear every day. And every day you have to push it a little bit further, yet that you still feel like confident. But yeah.
So fear is your friend.
Omnipresent. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Okay, good. What about, my next question would be, if this job, if you wouldn't get paid, would you still do it?
That's a good idea. Yeah, I just did a LinkedIn post about it. I think that's really I would definitely do it. I think I said it in the LinkedIn post. I don't know. I would do a trip for a couple of weeks with friends and do some crazy stuff in Las Vegas. And then, I don't know, I would invite my parents to come here to Spain, but on a daily basis, I would absolutely do it. And I think this is always the test if you found your, no, we don't call it passion. If you found like a job that you really like. If you say like, I wouldn't get any money or I have enough money, I would do it anyway. I think then you're like, and it was funny to see because in the comments under this post, a lot of people said, I would do it anyway. And I think it's a journey to find this job. And especially if you're like young and you're at the starting point, give yourself some time. It took me like, I don't know, almost like 10 years to get to this point where I am with my studies, like, I don't know, 15 years or something of working to get there. And people like always, I don't know, everything is like tomorrow, but no, not everything is tomorrow. I think you just can keep your energy up, do every day a little bit, don't get lost in this, everything has to be perfect, but stay ahead and after like 10 years, you're like, how did I get here? Yeah.
Totally. Okay, and then my last question would be, what are the values that you have been working on throughout all your entrepreneurship, let's say like that, with your business?
You got an example?
Yeah, for example, one of your values, I think, because I know you a little bit more, is freedom. So that was one of your why actually you wanted to be like independent with your business. Yeah. Are there even more about like even more than freedom, I'd say?
More than freedom. I think this was really like the main motivation, and I think you have to be a little bit crazy to do all this stuff to be free, but you're not really free. But at some point, I think variety is something that I really enjoy, that I really like. Yeah, this is something that I don't see with a lot of people. I don't know, I can get for example, today I played the whole day with ChatGPT and I found some like prompts and I was like so excited. I ran upstairs to Farina and I was like, oh my God, I cracked it. And she was like, nah. And I can do, I don't know, tomorrow I can do something completely different. And sometimes if I talk to my clients or my employees, they're like, Robert, what's wrong with you? How can you do like every day something else? And I'm super excited. And I think most people really like this stability and know what's tomorrow. Wow, it's like the worst for me. If like,
boring.
Yeah, Robert, we got to go tomorrow to India. You got to pack all your stuff. Let's go. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Yeah, I'm excited. And
actually, that's what you did by coming here to Germany.
Absolutely.
Like working in
I was
Spain
so excited.
And working in Germany.
So I always like a challenge, or I always like something. And this is something that you really have to learn out. Also having a company, because your employees, they go nuts if you do this every week. So really you have to find manager who can do it a little bit slower. But this is something, also I think your superpower to keep it up and to leverage it. because now I'm like, I don't know, if I have an idea and crazy idea, I do like a YouTube video and another one and another one, and don't get people lost by telling them what's on my mind. Yeah.
And 3 skills that younger people or just people, whatever, could work on so they may be more, let's say, enthusiastic about the professional lives. 3 skills that are important for you, for example.
I think really something that maybe we didn't have today. I think presenting stuff.
Okay,
I would really like learn that.
No.
I don't know, like in studies there was always the girls that did like, I don't know, a project, and someone had to like present it, and they did such a great job always, and I was like always the guy who presented it but didn't do anything else, and it worked out so good. And today going, I don't know, on a stage and talk to people, I think a couple of years ago I talked to 1,000 people, and I was like, I was shitting my pants. I was so afraid of it.
Wow.
But it helped a lot along the way, because you realize there are so many people that are afraid to talk to others. I don't know, even my dad was afraid to talk on my wedding, and I was like, okay, this is not something.
No.
And Farina's dad was also like,
shaking.
So this is something that you really can like, I think, practice. There are like organizations, I think worldwide, it's called Toastmasters. I think it's really cool. You can look it up in your city, and people meet for each other that are afraid to talk to other people, and it's a safe space to learn it. So I really would do that. And I think stuff like copywriting is also a cool skill that I would learn. It means like learn how to sell with words. This is something that is like underrated, I think, but it's really necessary. Either if you want to write a mail later or to do content, you really have to learn it. And the third skill, I think like, leadership is maybe a little bit too broad, but how to, this is something a lot of people when they're like self-employed and alone always struggle with growing their company because they never let other people. So there is, I always was like, I don't know, my former boss, my first was like, if there is something that is very heavy and it has to go from here to there, you wouldn't even touch it, Robert. You would like search for 2 guys and say, guys, I need some help here. Maybe you can get this
Just
to
get
there. And it was like, I don't know how you do it, but you make it work at some point. So I don't know, I did it always very naturally, but there are a lot of people who never did it, like never led a group or something, I don't know, the football team or something. And this is something, I don't even know how you would practice it. Maybe get at some point an assistant or do a sports, go to football and try to be the captain or something to really like learn how to lead people.
Lead people.
Because if you, especially also in your job, if you want to do a career in a company, you always have to become a manager or something. So you have to learn how to manage people, and it's really difficult to learn. No, it's really You
have to know a lot about also psychology.
A lot of stuff.
Okay, then thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Last thing I will like you to do, I do it with all I interview, is you can write like a sentence, 2 sentences, 3, whatever you want, but something that you will try to get in 1 year.
Try to get in 1 year?
Yes, personally or professionally, whatever you want, or whatever that is in your mind, that if I invite you again in 1 year, or maybe a bit less than a year, months.
Love it.
That no one is gonna know what is in here, just you. So write it, and then when I invite you back,
we look at it,
and then we will see if you did it.
Okay.
Yes? Okay. Whatever you want. It can be personally, professionally, or you have to write the date of today's 4th of June.
Okay, 4th of June.
3, then your sentence, and then your signature. And then
I love it.
Yes, we will see how Robert Heineke did. This businessman.
This businessman.
Yeah. Oh,
vale.
Pretty clear. Right.
Sure thing.
Okay, good. Then once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Spanish friends.
Bueno, ya sabes un poco de español.
Un poco, una cerveza, por favor.
Ah,
sí.
claro.
Y la
claro.
cuenta.
Bueno, a ti muchísimas gracias por estar atento y atenta a esta conversación. Espero que te haya aportado algo, que hayas disfrutado tantísimo como yo con Robert. Y bueno, te veo en la próxima charla. Muchas gracias.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.